Here we are, Big Ten Tournament live reaction. Live on SRN. It's JJ Sports here. Underway here. And this one. Long two for Minnesota, no good. As we are here. Number 14 seed Rutgers and number 11 seed Minnesota. Here on this Wednesday night. And a turnover. To Minnesota now. And now to the bucket is the Gophers. That shot no good for Rutgers and still scoreless. Minute and a half in to this one. Minnesota. Three-pointer, no good, and rebound track down. We're going to get a foul. Going to be on Minnesota. Inside, no good, and Minnesota. No good there, and it'll stay with the Gophers. And an offensive foul against Minnesota. And Rutgers scores. Nothing lead for Rutgers here in this one. Now Rutgers moving it around to the bucket. No good. And the rebound track down for Minnesota. Now the other way for Rutgers. Inside. It's rejected. Put it up. And it goes. So it's 4-0 now. We're going to get a foul on Rutgers. Back after this commercial break. You're in the Big Ten Tournament on JJ Sports. Back in a few minutes. And we're back. 2 free throws for Minnesota. The first one goes. And both go. So it is 4-2 now. Now Sanders puts it up, and it's no good. Now taking up the court. Gophers. Now Murphy to the bucket. And a foul called on Rutgers. First free throw goes. 4-4. That shot no good. Rebound. And out of bounds goes Deshaun Freeman. Nate Mason finds Isaiah Washington. Washington puts it up and draws the foul. Now Minnesota bring it. First free throw goes. And the second one, no good. So 5-4. All 5 of Minnesota's points coming at the free throw line in this one. Three-pointer. No good. And Rutgers scores. Minnesota has not hit a free throw or a field goal. They're 5 for 6 from the line. And we're having some technical difficulties right now. So three-pointer. No good. We have a foul, I believe. Offensive rebound for Rutgers. Shot doesn't go. And Murphy called for his second foul. Four fouls apiece. Okay. That is not right. And now that's the fourth foul on Rutgers. So that's on Freeman, and that's his second foul. So free throws now. And the first one goes for Minnesota. Second one, no good. And a three-pointer now for Rutgers. So free throws for Minnesota now. And they got one. And we get a break here in the action. Back in a few minutes. 10-8. And we're back here. Free throws for Rutgers. Missing the first. We have one more at the line for Rutgers. Already 10 free throw attempts for Minnesota in the game. And they have not scored outside of at the free throw line. Not scored when a defense is guarding them. Three-pointer? No good. And 47, and it's going to go to Minnesota with 10:48 to play in the first half. Harris now for the Gophers. And Mason finds McBrayer, and McBrayer able to get it to go. And finally, a first field goal made for Minnesota. 10-10 in this one. That bucket no good, and Minnesota with the defensive rebound. Mason going to take a three, no good. To the bucket, no good. Loose ball and a foul going to be called against Rutgers. And I believe it's going to be on Shaquille Dorsey. Tomorrow night, a doubleheader right here on JJ Sports. We'll have first Nebraska against Penn State. Or not, it's Northwestern against Penn State, and then we'll have the winner of this game against Indiana. Minnesota in the bonus for the next 9:37. That's how much time is left in the first half. Is three-pointer. Good for Minnesota. And that's going to be Devontae Fitzgerald. Down low, lose the ball. Second effort, no good. But the cleanup by Amaruni. And it's 13-12 lead now for Minnesota. Second chance points for Rutgers, 0 for Minnesota. So what is McBrayer going to do it with it? He's going to find his teammate, Canate. Now back to the McBrayer for three, no good. And the rebound tracked down for Rutgers. Sanders going to take a long two. Offensive rebound for Ducour. Now Corey Sanders. Going to drive. Outside now Geo Baker. Geo Baker finds Ducour. Now down low is Tom. Shot from Tom. Not going to go, but does draw the foul, and that's 6 on Minnesota. Both teams will be shooting free throws the rest of the first half. That free throw, no good. We'll get one more. And Rutgers scores. Who's going to win? Who's going to win, J-Car? About as even as it gets, even in fouls, even in points. Long two, no good. Gonna fake the three. Freeman is fouled. So that'll take us to a commercial break. Be back in a few minutes. Free throws now for Rutgers. And the 1-1. Got the first. 15-13 lead for Minnesota or Rutgers on Minnesota. Three-pointer. No good. And Rutgers gets the rebound. And scored. Two no good. Couldn't get the rebound. And it is tracked down now by Tian. No good from Geo Baker. And now transition for Nate Mason. Nate Mason! And that's a goaltend. So a goaltend called. Yeah, that's clearly a goaltend. That was going to go in and just can't do that. Field goals, Minnesota shooting 3 for 17, Rutgers 6 for 21. And the foul and free throw for Corey Sanders. On Nate Mason. One shot at the line for Sanders. And it goes. What a lucky roll. When you've got the touch of a shooter, you get those every once in a while. 20-15 here in Madison Square Garden. Long two. Oh, and Minnesota finally able to score. 20-17. Geo Baker finds Sanders. Sanders. Outside now to Baker. Offensive foul on Rutgers. So Iowa advanced earlier today. They will play Michigan tomorrow afternoon. Not here on JJSP. We'll have the games, Northwestern and Penn State, and Indiana's game. And then we'll have on Friday the 2 seed and the 3 seed in action. Geo Baker now 2 fouls for Rutgers. Three-pointer, no good. Rebound loose, and it's finally tracked down by Rutgers. Outside. Amari scores, and Rutgers now up 22-17. All loose, and it'll stay here with Minnesota. And Minnesota inbounds to the backcourt with under 5 minutes to play in the first half. Here to a blocking foul and the bucket that goes. 8 fouls apiece. And a lucky bounce on the free throw, and it's a 2-point game here in the Madison Square Garden. 2018 Big Ten Tournament. Three-pointer for Rutgers, no good. And it's tracked down for Minnesota. And tie game after the bucket. Sanders not able to be playing defense. Corey Sanders, long two. Got it! 24-22 lead for Rutgers. Just over 4 minutes to play here in the first half. Running out of room. Fitzgerald gets it to Nate Mason. Mason dumps it off to Washington. 10 to shoot now. Washington, what's he going to do? Washington's going to go to the bucket. He might have traveled. I don't know what happened. They're going to call it deflected. And the shot no good. Rebound to Tom. 3.5 to play in the first half in the Big Ten tournament presented by SoFi. Refinance your student loans with SoFi and save hundreds. Long two. It's good. Rutgers is up by 4, 26-22, and a timeout by Minnesota. You are watching this presentation of the Big Ten tournament. We'll see you after this break. 3:11 to play in the Big Ten first round game. And we were having some technical difficulties, but the score's now 28-25. We get a timeout by Rutgers. And this one. We'll be back after the timeout. And we're back here. Rutgers leads 28-25 on Minnesota. 3 timeouts apiece to go. The game. Rutgers turns and shoots, and it goes. 30-25. Lead. McBrayer finds Washington, and now a long 2 taken by Fitzgerald, and the rebound is tracked down by Rutgers. So 16 points in the paint for Rutgers, just 2 for Minnesota. And a foul called, as Sanders will go to the line. So Corey Sanders at the line shooting 2. The first one goes. And the second goes. (32-25), and it's taken away by Rutgers. Bucket, no good. Offensive rebound, outside. 32-25 here with 35 seconds to play, 15 to shoot. Now for Rutgers. The halftime is coming up here. 5 to shoot now. Long 2. Got it. And Rutgers extends the lead to 9 with 15 seconds to play in the first half. Seven seconds to play. Washington. Long 2, and it goes. And to end the first half, our halftime score is 34-27 at the break. See you for the second half. Till then, I'm J-Rob. 34-27, our score. Second half action now. (34-27). Shot no good. Kanate called for the foul here. And now Sanders finds a teammate, no good. Ahead to Mason, outside corner. McBrayer couldn't get it to fall. And now Mike Williams up the court. Williams has it poked away, and it's stolen. Now Washington. And it's going to be shooting foul, so free throws coming. And no good on the first shot. 19-12 to play here in game 2 of our doubleheader. There at the Madison Square Garden. Second free throw goes. (34-28) our score, 18:48 to play. Now down low. Dorson able to score. 36-28 now. Minnesota needs to not get in a slump like they did in the first half, where they weren't able to make any field goals. Washington now with it. Isaiah Washington, down low. Mason scores. Or no, not Mason, Murphy. Murphy with that bucket there. And it's 36-30. Inside. Oh! It's Dorson with the slam. Trying to find room. Down low. Oh, and the finish. The Gophers answer with the bucket from Kanate. That shot is no good, but a foul. And only Judy will go to the line. No good on the first. Free throw goes. So in 7-point lead. (17:07 to play in the second half. Kanate with 3 fouls. Isaiah Washington. Washington to Kanate. Now Three-pointer for Mason, no good. And the rebound is tracked down. It's going to go because it goes out of bounds to Rutgers. (39-32), 16:40 to play in the second half of action. Nowhere to go. Theo Baker. No, Missouri. It's deflected and taken away ahead for Jordan Murphy, who takes it all the way home. And it's a 5-point game, 39-34, our score in the world's most famous arena at Madison Square Garden. 7 turnovers now for Rutgers. Theo Baker. Pick Corey Sanders. Now they get it off to Dewey. Down low, Omari. Foul on Minnesota is called. Minnesota trails 39-34 in this one. We'll be back after this commercial break. Welcome back. 39-34 lead for Rutgers on Minnesota. 39-34, 15-36 to play. Down low. Nowhere to go. Now, 3-second call. And a turnover for Rutgers. And Kanate with 4 fouls for Minnesota with 15-20 to go. That goes off the foot of Rutgers. And now running room, Murphy, I think, is fouled. Yeah, foul here. 39-34, 15-14 to play in the second half. Murphy just turns it over. Under 15 minutes to go. So now Freeman trying to find some room. 3-pointer. Got it. Tom gets the assist and Baker gets the 3. 42-34. Minnesota's got to find somewhere to go. Washington outside. And a foul called. It's drawn by McBrayer. So 3 fouls on Rutgers. $14.05. 3-pointer. No good. Did not hit the rim. Rutgers has made 3 in a row from the field. And that is not going to help. Just throwing it away. Wow, those cheerleaders just had to get out of the way. That turnover. 10 now turnovers for Rutgers. So Minnesota has to start capitalizing on these as they trail by 8 points in this game. McBrayer. And a foul is called. Minnesota got to get it in, and they do. Michael Hurt dumps it off. No good. Murphy cleans it up. And it's a 6-point game once again here at MSG. Second chance points, Rutgers 13, just 2 for Minnesota. 3-pointer, no good. It's a shot clock violation. Another Rutgers turnover, and those are starting to pile up, but Minnesota is still losing. Jordan Murphy, just 2 points in the first half, 6 points already in the second half. He's got to start playing well down the stretch. Shot, but the foul is called on Rutgers. Isaiah Washington will go to the line. Shooting 2. And the first goes. (42-37) after the miss at the line for Washington. A lot of misses in this game. Loser will not play again in this year. They'll go home. A very, very rough year in the Big Ten. 3-pointer, no good. The rebound is not going to be pulled in as he goes out of bounds at 12:04 to play. To the bucket, no good. Offensive rebound, and it goes. 44-37. And a turnover. 44-37 to go. We have more to come after the break. 44-37 our score. Rutgers and Minnesota. And we welcome all of you back in today's telecast. Winner plays Indiana tomorrow night at about 8:15, somewhere around there, p.m. Central Time. Right here on JJ Sports, we'll have that coverage. 44-37 our score here in this one. Long two, no good. It's loose. And somehow able to keep it are the Gophers. And it's outside. Nate Mason trying to find somewhere to go. And kicks it out to Washington. Washington outside and trip. Foul on Rutgers. Deshaun Freeman, 3 points and 3 fouls. Outside. Now a foul is called on Rutgers. One more shot. .30. Long two, and it goes 46-38. 8-point lead for the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. And the bucket goes. Washington. To the bucket, no good. Geo Baker is blocked. And now Washington up the court. Isaiah Washington going to take a jumper. No foul. An air ball. And a big missed opportunity. And they had a chance to cut the lead to 4. Not going to take the 3. Freeman is just going to bring it on DeCorey Sanders. 5 to shoot. And Sanders is going to have to heave one. Long two for Sanders. No good. The rebound is tracked down by the Gophers. Oh, what a move! And McBrayer makes it a 4-point game. And finally, the Gophers make Rutgers use a timeout. We will be back here. Big Ten on the Garden. And we're back here between these two teams, Rutgers and Minnesota. Here, 46-42 our score with 8:55 to go. Can Rutgers hold on here? It's loose, and it's taken by the Gophers. Washington. And to the bucket, no good, and it's taken away. Now Freeman finds Williams. Williams up the court. Back to Freeman. Corey Sanders. Back to Freeman, long two. No good. And it's tracked down by Murphy. Murphy not going to take a three. Murphy just throws it up, and it's out of bounds. It'll go to Rutgers. Rutgers with the ball. Up by 4. Williams to the bucket. Okay, he's going to get it out of bounds off the Gophers. There'll be Rutgers ball when we come back to the Big Ten tournament. Presented by SoFi. Back in 30 or a few minutes. Coverage of the NCAA men's basketball tournament. And we're back here. And the foul! And patrols are being paid now. What a play by Rutgers and what a failure by Minnesota. Minnesota paying right now for all of what they've done. 42-48. The free throw is good and more pain for Minnesota fans. In the second half of the year, they have failed everything. Right now, Villanova up by 1 on Seton Hall on FS1. Washington. Nate Mason for 3. Got it! Nate Mason finds the answer for Minnesota. Murphy defending. Oh, not going to take the 3. Freeman to the bucket. No good. Offensive rebound for Freeman. No good. Another offensive rebound this time, and it's stolen away by the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Now down the floor. Jordan Murphy. Oh! It's a 2-point game. 2-point game here. We got a good finish coming up between Minnesota and Rutgers. What is going to happen? 3-pointer. Got it! Rutgers gets the answer. 52-47 in a 5-point game. (52-47). Corey Sanders, that bucket there for Rutgers. Nate Mason, down low. Murphy, no! Missing a point blank. Under 6 minutes to go. Geo Baker. Now they're going to get it down to Sanders. Is going to take the shot. No good. And it's a turnover. Nate Mason, an offensive foul. Down low. That shot no good. And Washington. And we're going to get a foul on Rutgers. And that's going to be 1-1 now for Minnesota. One and one for Minnesota. First one goes. And got the second, so it's a 3-point game here. 5 minutes to play in the second half, and we get a timeout by Patino. And we'll be back in a few minutes. Back after the timeout's done. 5:05 to play in 30 seconds. We're back. 2 timeouts apiece in this game. Geo Baker. That shot no good, and it is going to be pulled down. Almost taken by Geo Baker. Washington outside. Mason. McBrayer. Washington. Now Nate Mason. Gotta get something. Has to go to Washington. Just shoots one up there. Couldn't be gathered. It's going to stay with Minnesota in a new shot clock. Murphy. Outside. Now 3-pointer for Mason. It's up there, and Washington with the effort. And Washington gets an offensive rebound. Outside. Not going to take the three. Now it's taken away by Rutgers. Williams going to wait. 3:40 to play tonight at MSG. $3:28 to play. Going inside. Freeman. It's taken away. Now pushed ahead. Murphy can't get it. And it's going to be a jump ball, and that'll go to Rutgers. And it's going to be out of bounds, not a tie-up. It'll go to Rutgers when we come back. You are watching the Big Ten tournament. Live from MSG. Welcome back here. Big time basketball on this Wednesday night in the Big Ten tournament. Let's get you an update on the game that's happening right now between Seton Hall and Villanova. Get you that update in just a moment. Right now, Villanova leads 44-40 over Seton Hall. That game is available on FS1. We'll update you when this one is done on that game. But back to the game here with J-Rod. In the Big Ten tournament, this game is coming down to the wire. Rutgers and Minnesota. Oh! Rutgers got the bucket and the foul. This is unacceptable. Free throw no good. Rutgers finally pays. And now we're going to foul on the other end. First free throw goes. A 4-point game. One more shot at the line. And the second one does not go. So 4-point game here at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden in New York. Nowhere to go. Sanders just heaves it. No good, but the rebound's long enough that Rutgers can't get the offensive rebound. 2-possession ball game late in this one. This game is coming down to the wire. Timeout taken by Rutgers. They have one remaining now. We'll be back in a few moments. Back here, 54-50 our score, with 2:12 to play in the second half. That shot is good. Long two. Goes 56-50 lead. A minute 48 to play. To the bucket, no good. And a rebound to Freeman. Minnesota hasn't made a field goal in over 5 minutes. This is the definition of defense that Rutgers is putting on a show of late in the game here. Well, the winner of tonight's game will play Indiana. Will have coverage tomorrow night for that. As Jordan Murphy able to track it down. Up to Nate Mason in the corner for three. No good. And Murphy cannot get the rebound, and they have to foul, and it's going to be a 1-1 on the other end. So 1-1 coming up. $56.50. First free throw goes at the line. This will make it an 8-point game. Freeman. Got it. And Rutgers is a minute away from advancing to tomorrow night against Indiana. This shot is good. And a timeout is taken by the Gophers as they cut it back to 6. They need a steal coming up, but first a timeout. And we're back here. 58-52 with 52 seconds to play. And a foul called with 50 seconds to go. How are we going to come back in this game if you just keep fouling? You know, you have to somehow come up. Now they're going to review the clock back when they get done with that. So they've added 2.2 seconds to the clock. So 52.2 to go now in this one. First free throw goes. And that free throw goes. So 8 fouls on Minnesota. McBrayer three-pointer, no good. And that'll do it pretty much. 41 seconds to play. And Rutgers back to the line they go. Another 1-on-1. First free throw goes for Corey Sanders. He misses the second. 9-point lead. Three-pointer. No good. Ball's loose. Another foul, and that's Minnesota after the tremendous start to their year. And so it's going to be Rutgers and Indiana tomorrow night. Have that after Northwestern and Penn State. We'll have Northwestern and Penn State 5:30 p.m. tomorrow night on BTN. Rutgers able to get an 11-point lead here. So Minnesota is fouled on the shot. And no good. And that's 65-54. Long ball, no good. 20 seconds. The final 20 seconds here. 15 seconds now. Rutgers is going to advance as a 14 seed in the Big Ten tournament. 65-54, our final score for our entire SRN JJ Sports crew. 65-54, our final score. So we'll have Rutgers and Indiana tomorrow night on BTN at about 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 Eastern. We'll have a great, great day tomorrow. Coverage at 11 a.m. on BTN. Our coverage on SN Sports begins at 6:30 a.m. We'll have for our entire SRN JJ Sports crew. This has been a presentation of JJ Sports, exclusive presentation of the Big Ten tournament. Have a great night.